Hello and good evening, everyone. Time to head back into Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. My blind playthrough. To hell with what Twitch has to say about it. I don't think there's a single visually impaired person who had any problem with that term, including myself. Anyways, we are about to start the trial in Chapter 2. Hey, Trucy. Huh, Mr. Wright's not here today. He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice. I started my voice training at 5 this morning. Oh, do some now. I want to see. Here. Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. She doesn't look impressed. That sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. Oh, we don't know who this is. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying? Huh. Oh, him. Good morning. Yeah, Walkie. He's our defendant. Yo, sup? Hit me with a guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? Not really. Walkie, don't be running your mouth like that in here. Oh boy. There's the Godfather again. See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. My worst fears realized. The trial's starting, and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. You're right, we haven't. That could be a problem. June 16th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Walkie Kitaki. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Herr Judge? Ah, it's him. What is he, Christoph? He was Christoph's brother, right? Yeah, I just recently watched, because I'm not going to be spoiled on the first trial anymore, I watched Lukagin's, LP, at least the first part of it. She totally simping for Christoph. That was hilarious. Anyways. Oh, it's him! The guy from yesterday! He's a prosecutor? Oh, yeah, and Trucy was getting totally wet for him. It's Mr. Gavin's brother. Clavier. Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Weren't you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I fear that you might still be distraught over that one trial. What one trial? Not to worry here, Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? Ah. It was worth canceling a show or two. Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Herr Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Achtung, baby! Today we play it my way. Whoa, jeez. Settle down. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down to prosecuting. This is crazy. The victim, Pal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. Oh yes, that was what we found that dummy put in its place. What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe. You will only find that out by asking the defendant, right here, right now. Because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean, undeniable? If you are to glare at anyone, Herr Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. Very well. Please admit this witness to the court. Damn. 9. Not yet. First, there's a little matter to be cleared up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second. What is it, Prosecutor Gavin? A motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic? Not so fast. The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh, but what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. What? What? What is right? They always say that on stage you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly? Uh-huh. Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you, son, are the defendant. Walkie, are you? I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kitaki, you best be prepared to step strong. You step to a public official, you'd best be prepared to step into jail. You gotta hand it to him, Walkie sure has guts. It's not his guts I'm worried about. Well then, the court will now hear the testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself. Okay, here we go. What's he got to say? I'll tell you one thing, that doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my OP something bad. and then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye! So I gotta go and get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying? You're saying you were one of the victim's patients? Well, yeah, I think it was established he was a, kind of one of those back alley doctors for the mob or something. A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True that. Tell you one thing, that doc was whack. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all this. Yeah, so what are we gonna make of this? First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor. Who asked you, pointy locks? Just who do you think you are? Your lawyer? Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple. Someone had to show him what's what. By someone, you mean... Was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean? You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what I had to be done. Straight gangsta style. But why were you so mad at this doctor? Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man. The dude's flat out admitting that he did it. How are we supposed to get a defense out of this? I was at his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. So you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago. For what reason? I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? We had a little run-in with the rival's family. That's when I pulled a jack move. Oh! And ran to an ambush. Gee, busted a cap right in me. So he was shot? According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting. And ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time. By yourself. Hey, I was more than a match for those guys! So you were carried to the Maractus Clinic from there. Apparently, he was shot in the heart. Oh, gee. That sounds serious. Shot in the heart and he's still alive? I can catch bullets between my teeth. But I never learned how to catch them with my heart. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would've been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So, just as you say, the surgery was a failure. That ain't all of it, Holmes. Okay, what is all of it? He just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye! What do you mean he just let you go without a word? What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what! I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go. He's a liar, straight up. He's a badder G than me. So I gotta go and get another doc to patch me up again. So this bullet is still... You know it, I can still feel it. Oh, it's still in him. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles. Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice. Word, J-Man. Weren't no accidents, that's for shizzle. Seems there were issues with this doctor. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor. Waki, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight. But why did this mistake only come to light that day? It was found during the family health checkup. Family checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lying up taking eye exams and all that. Better die young than fade away, bizoy! Okay. A relief to hear. What's a relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you. Oh, what? That doesn't sound good. Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way, that's whacked! That is proof. Your checkup report. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. You're almost as careless as he was. Results from a checkup performed in June. Metallic object found near heart. Metallic object found near heart. Urgent exam needed. What's so funny? Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started. Started? We've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. Waki sure is quiet all of a sudden. Well, yeah, from hearing... I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gaven's strategy? Oh, who the fuck are you? So, you will tell us your name and occupation. Who the heck? Yeah, who the fuck is this guy? My name is Wesley Stickler. Huh? By occupation, I take it mean something under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to the notion of occupation. Once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not fault per se, but dissolves from the vagueness inherent in all Yeah, that just scrolled by on its own. I had nothing to do with that. By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in the pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime. You asked quite simplistically what I saw. Understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes, those designed to receive and interpret data, sending objects... It just faded out! Oh my god, what is this guy? That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Was there anyone else in the park at that time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts this into evidence. Okay. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay, let's have a look at that first. Weapon left at the crime scene. 2 rounds were fired. Fingerprints were wiped. 2 shots, it says. Okay, anything? I don't see anything unusual about the gun. No. Okay. Bad gun safety 101 right here. Yeah, don't point that thing at me. Yeah, right? Really? Don't worry, I can handle myself around guns. Magic guns, at least. The ones that pigeons come out of. Very reassuring. Okay. Anything about the... Oh. Look at this, Apollo. Mr. Eldon spelled his name backwards on the side. Yeah, noodle. As in Eldon's Noodles. Oh, I get it. So the name of his store is the same whether you read it forward or backward. Yeah, I guess it would be. Well, except for the last S. Then how about a store called Team Meat? Close, but that would be Tame Meat backwards. And what kind of store is that? Why, a store that sells meat. It's not meat unless it's Team Meat. Okay. Anyways. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy, why are you staring like that at the witness? That man. I can't help but feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, is he the panty thief? I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw him. On the way home from shopping, you say? Why go through the park? Ah, a fascinating inquiry. Revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes, 24 seconds, ergo the time to complete 2 is on average 6 minutes, 48 seconds. However, in the case that the questions are in the verbal category, admittedly not That's enough. Enough. I get the idea. Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish cross-examination sometime this month. Please, I've a recording booked after this trial. And I've got a show to perform. Gee, sorry you're all so busy. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. Were these men talking by any chance? Ah, now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as, "You lied to me," oh, and, I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, pal. It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart. If that's true, this is a vital piece of testimony. Oh boy. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Sounds like he heard him clearly enough to me. Might I be allowed to amend my testimony? With what? To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma. What's the difference? On this other man, who was he? Did he? How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crime took place at night. It would have been too dark. Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier. Huh? You see, in class, I always sit in the very backmost spot. Do you know why? Who cares? Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes. And this relates to your testimony how? I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there were lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident. He seems to be telling the truth, too. Huh. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Are you sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence? Am I sure? Surely you jest. Or so a common witness would be tempted to say. Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, we must consider the fact that it was night in the park. My field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider the pistol, let us consider Object A was used in the darkness. It becomes difficult to say with certainty that Object A was indeed Object A. I think he means he couldn't see it that clearly. My badge for a normal witness. Yet the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Now, this is the part that we might be able to get him on, because apparently the gun was fired twice. Are you absolutely certain only one shot was fired? Yes, of course it was one shot. Why do you ask? We got him. We got you, bitch. Objection. Yeah. Haha, a contradiction, finally. Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, the pistol was fired twice. What? Wait. Good eyes here, Justice. You're cool. Real cool. Oh, do you already have a counter? You really think so? Yet, there's no reason why this other shot had to have been fired that night. Meaning? This pistol came from the Kitaki family mansion, yeah? Oh, so you're gonna try to say that that shot was fired at some other the second shot was fired some other time. I think it's not unreasonable to assume the pistol had been fired once before that night. during perhaps another altercation? Ugh, he's got a point. Judging from his smug expression, I'd say Prosecutor Gavin had that answer ready before he even spotted the problem. Yeah, I think he did. That would have been too easy, wouldn't it? He seems pretty confident in his testimony. We always make the biggest mistakes when we're at our most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it. Right. Better give that testimony another listen. I passed when I saw them. Another man facing him. Yeah, there's also... His testimony doesn't take this knife into account. Should we present this? Oh, maybe is it this? Oh, I don't think so. No, damn it. Damage. Entry point right temple. Wait, that's on the side of the head, not the front. Pulling the stand from square in. Yeah, okay. Okay. There it is. Oh, if that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing I see here, Justice? Objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet. Right. Look at this. The autopsy report. Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Problem. Yes, the problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? Ah, I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute. What I mean by this, for example, the deflection of a meter is the wavelength of the light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to the naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning, namely that... Mr. Justice! Yes? What is your objection to these krypton particle things? No, Superman, it wasn't. This is the big time, and you're obsessed with something so small. You disappoint me. No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a... Oh, excuse me. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple. Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? You don't have to sound so uncertain at the end there. It is, right? Finally. Herr Justice. Oh, Herr Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles? Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. What? Phoenix Wright, was it? Oh. Is this coming up again? Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to his testimony. Oh, this was... Yeah. Oh, but he's shaken. Hey, her forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you're walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Herr Forehead? Well, I guess... I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Fraulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eee!" And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder? Huh? If the victim turned his head at the last moment... Oh... yes, thank you for jogging my memory. Oh boy, I see what you're doing here. It sounds like an addendum to the testimonies required. Okay, Frollo, let's see what you got now. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two! I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. He tossed it aside. Did we find the gun at the scene of the crime, though? Indeed, with composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it, stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. That does seem to be the case. Witness the power of a junior of Ivy University's Department of Science. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. The killer raised his pistol. I took action. So you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened? It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action. That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot. You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. That's a good point. He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed. Cease us at once, you two, I cried, with composure. Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice? They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park, and the victim responded to that clarion call. Quite. Let me turn the direction of my voice. Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed, I would say about the same time, to be precise. And the victim didn't ask for your help? It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly? He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. Oh, hi, cats. Yeah, I remember hearing some of that too. Which is kind of dumb. I know they're pretty scarce. He shot, he panicked, a common tale but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action... Oh, dang. Yeah. Yeah, I keep hearing about how hard they are to find, about how scarce they are. Fortunately, I'm not in a big rush to get a PS5. As of right now, the only game that I'd be interested in playing is Spider-Man Miles Morales, and even there, I still have yet to play the first one on the PS4. So again, I'm not in a big hurry. Yeah, they're scalping them big. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. You didn't try to apprehend the criminal? It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? What? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away. According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes. In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Yeah, he was... I did hear him talking about that yesterday. Good on him, though, for managing to get one. Find something. Find what? I like that contradiction. Kinda sad to see it go. Not as bad as I feel. What do we do now? At least the testimony's getting a little clearer. She's right. Maybe I can find something using this new testimony. Yeah, like they... Okay. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. Oh, the fingerprints were wiped. If he was in that big of a hurry... Wait Wait a second. Another misleading request. Yet you are so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you. Well, hopefully there's nothing they can do about it now, since he already got it. And and we were talking before about how, you know, if an employee who's not even on the clock buying one, there should be no big deal about that, I would think. Come again? Wait a second, you say. A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second? 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes, 35 seconds... Mr. Justice! Yeah, my thoughts exactly, too. Am I to understand you're objecting to the length of a second? Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. A common ploy made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Uh-oh. Ah, the little girl's sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fräulein? Huh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? That's an easy way to explain it. Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo. Ah, cool. Could the killer have been wearing gloves? Wait, could he? Oh no, because we found his knife at the scene that had his prints on it. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were white, which means some trace of prints remained. Which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Herr Forehead, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Huh? Isn't what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away. Oh! Is that where he dropped the knife instead? You're right. He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong. Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. While it is indeed true that once in my youth I was seized by the teacher, post on Blackboard, the violation report might be fixed in my... What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Aww. Kitties. Does the defense have anything to say about this? Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol, then it had to be something else. At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking. I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin. Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene? That's the knife. Is that a sword? A little smaller than a sword, but I think this is a good point where I'll take a quick break. I'll see you in a few minutes.